Assalamualaikum to Madam and all of my fellow classmates. Today, our Group 2, will be presenting Chapter 9 of MGT 321, which is Group and Work Team. So, I am your first presenter, Nur Ain binti Abdul. Okay, before we started to learn this chapter, we have to know the definition first, right? Well, now, without further ado, let's learn with me the definitions of group and work teams. At first glance, you will think that work team and work group is absolutely the same. Okay, you are not entirely wrong, but they do have slightly differences. A group is a collection of individuals that work together to get a task done, while a team is a group of individuals, a group of people with skills that have the common purpose, goals, and approach. You can say that team is a special breed or a special subset of a group. For work group, they are more focused on individuals, while in a team, they focus on individual too, but they also share. Like, for example, the accountability for a group, they only apply for individual accountability, while in a team they have individual accountability and also mutual accountability. Like, they share the responsibility for leadership in work group. They base off the organizations, while in a team they share the leadership role together. Like, each member has the authority. The other difference of work group and work team is that in a group they come together to share informations and their perspective, while members in a work team, they usually have a discussions about their decisions making, about the how to solve problem and all. For the next subtopic is for the importance of joining group. Why people tend to join group? Okay, working in a group do benefits you in many ways that there's things that you don't even come to knowledge, like you don't even realize it. In terms of security, you will feel less secure of being alone if you work in a group. There's this saying that sounds like two heads are better than one. Like, especially when you want to overcome an obstacle, when you want to achieve your goals, it is better to be in a group. Like, people tend to have a lower self-doubt when they are in a group rather than being alone. Besides, with status that was appointed to the members in a group, can be seen as a form of recognition from others. Like when you are assigned with a duty, with responsibilities that only you can do, so you will feel appreciated. You will feel that you are needed from others. So it will also fulfill your self-esteem, that will boost your confidence. Okay, now while being in a group, you can also fulfill your social needs. Like, in my perspective, this might be wrong, but I think no matter how introvert a person is, they still have to socialize with others. So, well, obviously, when you are in a group, when you work in a group, you have to interact with others. Like, so there, they can fulfill your social needs. They can make you interact with other individuals. For the last benefits that I will be explaining here is that in terms of achieving your goals, like, goal can be achieved, like the possibilities, the percentage of you can achieve the successfulness of achieving your goals will get higher if you do it in a group. Like, there's people who can help you, you can exchange knowledge, can exchange experience and talents.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Zamir Izwan Zaki. In such a lovely environment, I will explain to you about type of group and teams. Individuals join group for a variety of reasons. There are two types of group, which is formal and informal groupings, as well as their subcategory. The common group and the task group are indeed in a formal group. The informal group subcategory consists interest group and friendship group. There are two types of group, which is informal group and informal group. Formal group is designed by the top management to achieve organization goal. Meanwhile, informal group not specified in the blueprint of the formal organization. Let's begin with the formal group, which is the common group. It is a group of people who report directly to a given manager. These groupings are frequently made up of a supervisor and subordinate. This supervisor is directly responsible for the subordinate. Next is task group, in which members are brought together to achieve a specified goal within a specified time range. An organization will delegate goal to a prime member of the task group. We have interest group for informal group, where the people work together to achieve a certain goal that each member is concerned with. Once formed, interest group usually last a long time, and they may last longer than an ordinary casual group. The last one for informal is friendship group. Members who share a common hobbies, political ideas, religious value, or other mutual relationship create groups. Manager, lead, and self-managing teams. Functional team. Functional team is carry out a specific organization function and involves members from various levels of the hierarchy. A functional team is also made up of a manager and his or her subordinate for a particular functional area. Functional team include departments such as accounting, human resource, and buying. Cross-functional team. Cross-functional team comprise of experts with various specialties working together on various organizational tasks that are from departments such as research and development, design engineering, marketing, and distribution. These teams are often empowered to make decisions without the approval of the management. They created this team to find ways to improve its relationship with customer and better satisfy customer needs. Self-directed work team. Self-directed work teams are designed to give employees a feeling of ownership of whole job. Self-directed work team consists of individuals who work together for a common purpose without the supervisor. Every individual in self-managed team is accountable for his or her own performance. And the team member must respect each other and should never lose focus of their target. Team members have to take responsibility of their own work progress. Virtual team. Virtual teams are composed of members that are dispersed in different areas but still able to work together using technology to help them communicate. It beneficial when they need to connect with each other but are located at the different places, even different time zone. Task force. Task force are formed to work on specific project or finding a solution to highly critical problem. The task force identify all the possibility reasons that lead to the problem and try to resolve the issue within the given deadline. Last but not least, the problem-solving team is usually a group formed to solve a particular problem or improve activity within their own department. Once the team has finished their research and problem solving, they will present their finding to the proper party to implement the recommended course of action. That's all. Thank you.
Work groups come in a variety of sizes. When it comes to the number of people in a group, there are two opposing tendencies. Smaller groups usually result in stronger relationships. Almost everyone is completely involved in a team, so it becomes dominant because leadership and other responsibilities are shared or cycled. But they would be ideal for a larger group when individual efforts in brainstorming are necessary. But as the group expands in number, subgroups will form, different roles will be increased, and a leader will emerge. Norms are acceptable standards of behavior within a group that are shared by the group's members. They are powerful enough to influence others, despite the fact that norms are unwritten and rarely discussed. For example, some groups encourage each other to work hard, while others compete to see who can do the least amount of labor. Adjusting one's behavior to align with the norms of the group is known as conformity. To be clear, everyone builds differently. That is why we have different types of roles in a work group, especially when it comes to fulfilling our goals. Task roles make it easier to define, clarify, and pursue a common purpose for the work group. There are 10 types of task role. To begin, the initiator is the one who brings new ideas to the group and provides fresh perspective on issues, methods, goals, or solutions, while the opinion giver expresses her belief in response to a recommendation. So normally, groups' view of pertinent values is depend on what the opinion giver believes rather than on relevant facts or information. Then comes the elaborator, who expresses recommendations through examples or develop meanings, provide the rationale for prior proposals, and attempts to predict how an idea might operate if it is based primarily on relevant facts or information. Next is coordinator, which shows relationships among various ideas and suggestions, bring people together to brainstorm ideas, or coordinates the activity of numerous subgroup members. We also have energizer, who motivates the group to take action or make decisions and awakens the team to greater and higher quality activities. The procedural technician, on the other hand, facilitates group movement more efficiently, such as when passing out materials or setting up chairs, while the recorder is responsible of jotting down suggestions or products of discussion and keeping a record of group's decisions, which serve as group memory. Following that, the information giver provides facts or generalizations that are authoritative or relate to his or her own experience relevant to the group problem. We go on to the second final task role, which is the opinion seeker. This person typically seeks clarification of values relevant to what the group is doing, or is active in various ideas or suggestions that have been made. Information seeker constantly seek clarification of recommendations provided based on their factual sufficiency, authoritative information, and facts relevant to the subject under discussion. Let's continue with group maintenance roles. There are 8 different types of it. First is an encourager, who enjoys praising and accepting other people's point of view. This type of person expresses gratitude for the contribution of others. Then there's the harmonizer, who acts as a mediator when other members disagree and knows how to resolve conflicts with nice jokes and a calming manner. While compromiser, whose position is involved when functioning from within a conflict. To sustain social peace, things like yielding status and admitting mistakes are offered. Next is gatekeeper, facilitate attempts to keep communication channels open, encourage others to participate, for example, or propose communication flow regulation. Then standard setter, who outlines the standard that apply to the quality of the group process or set boundaries on acceptable individual attitude within the group. Next, we have group observer, where records of various aspects of group process were kept, and data with proposed interpretations were input into the group's evaluation of its own procedures. Supervisor, defines the group's position to its aim by summarizing what has happened, pointing out departures from agreed upon directions or goals, or raises issues about the direction in which the group discussion is heading. Last but not least, reality tester subjects group achievement to some standard or set of standards of group functioning. This person may evaluate or ask about the practicality, logic, facts, method used, or of some unit of group discussion. We now go on to the final rules, which are blocking rules. This is what happens when needs are disregarded. Aggressors are persons who deflate others, express rejection, and try to take credit for other people's contribution due to jealousy. As idiom goes, one beats the bush and another has the hair. Then we have blocker, consistently oppose everything for no reason and brings back topics that have previously been rejected. Next one is recognition seeker, always craves attention by boasting about their accomplishments and trying hard not to be in an inferior position. Then self-confessor, who communicates personal feelings through the audience opportunity offered by the group context. Continue with playboy playgirl. Shows cynicism, nonchalance, and horseplay by constantly exhibiting his or her lack of participation in the group's operations. Next is dominator, the attempt to use power to control group members, sometimes through flattery, assuming superior position or entitlement to attention, authoritatively providing commands, and interrupting others' contributions. We also have help seeker, who begs sympathy from other members of the group or from the entire group by showing insecurity, personal confusion, or unreasonable depreciation of himself or herself. Finally, a special interest pleader. It's on behalf of a specific group, namely small companies, labor, gender, and race, but usually conceals her or his personal prejudice in the stereotype that best fits her or his own need.
So you are back with me. Now I will be explaining about the last characteristics of the groups, which is cohesiveness. Cohesiveness can be defined as a measure of attractions of the group to its member, the sense of team spirits, and the willingness of the members to coordinate their efforts. In my words, I think that cohesiveness can be defined as like how strong the unity between the members in the groups. Like you can see that cohesiveness is like how strong is the unity between them is. Okay, members of a high cohesive group tend to give more anticipations to the group. Like they will be more cooperative, they will attend the meetings and being active in discussions, exchange opinions. Contrary to the high cohesive group, the low members of a low cohesive group tend to be more uncooperative. They will be passive in discussion sessions, and they will even absent during the meetings. And the factors is like that influence the cohesion of the group is that first is social. You have to socialize with your members. You have to interact with your members. Like there might be some certain things that make you feel more understanding, more close to the members. The second thing is that from the external factors like environmental, like the smaller the group is, the better the group cohesion. Like when there's too many people in the group, it is difficult for them to have the same thoughts, like to meet the same decisions at the end. The second external factors, the more stable the group in demographic, the better.
Alright. Assalamualaikum, my name is Tengku Nur Sabrina bin Tengku Syif Anwar. Now it's my turn to present the stages of group development. Every organization that has a specific project or goals in mind, they will form a team as a to achieve the project or goals. And every team formed, no matter what the reason, has to go through 5 stages according to a 1965 research paper by Bruce Tuckman of the Naval Medical Research Institute at Bethesda. The 5 stages are forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Okay, so let's go one by one. Stage 1, forming. This is the initial stage where I understand at this stage the members will get to know each other and identify the purpose of this team form. This is because at this stage, they will begin to familiarize themselves with their work and each other. They begin to collect impression and data about the similarities and the differences among them for future use. In addition, they have the rule behavior to avoid controversy. Discussion in this stage will focus on the scope of the task, how to approach it, and similar concern to find out their overall mission. To get to the next stage, which is storming, each member must not be in the comfort zone. Stage 2. Storming. At this stage, each member will begin to come up with ideas, feelings, attitudes, and beliefs that suit the team's organization. So, there will be a competition and conflict. Whether the conflict will be an issue or not, the conflict still exists. So, it can cause discomfort where some member will choose to remain silent and some will continue to give commitment. To get to the next level, group members need to move from a testing and proving mentality to a problem-solving mentality, which is solving existing issues. Stage 3, norming. As we know in stage 2, where there is competition and conflict, but at this stage, which is norming, they begin to cohesion. They actively acknowledge all members' contribution, build community, maintain team focus and mission, and so on. Interestingly, at this stage, they begin to feel belonging. They become open and share information on both personal and task levels. And at this stage, they begin to fear the inevitable future breakup of the group. Stage 4, performing. Not all teams are able to reach this stage. A team that managed to reach this stage means they are the most productive team, which is team members are both highly task-oriented and highly people-oriented. Because of that, the team becomes unified. They can do the task well and make productive achievement. The last stage is adjourning. At this stage, it involves the termination of the task behavior and disengagement from relationship. Achievement and participation are recognized. They start to say goodbye due to the disbanding of the team. This last stage focuses on wrapping up of the activity rather than the performance of the task.
Next is managing the performance of an effective team. There are 3 topics which are dimension of team effectiveness, task work processes, and average group behavior. First, dimension of team effectiveness. Leaders with vision cannot guarantee the development of such high-performance teams on their own, and either can members who desire such to be part of such teams. The development of high-performance teams takes the combined effort of visionary leaders and motivated team members. There are many characteristics of high-performance teams such as clear purpose, informality, participation, listening, civilized disagreement, decision by consensus, open communication, clear roles and work assignments, shared leadership, external relations, style diversity, and lastly, periodic self-assessment. In order to build an effective team, a leader needs to establish an organizational environment in which individual team members can reflect on and analyze their relationships with the other team members. In short, effective leaders are cheerleaders for the team, which are to encourage and support members who are committed and actively involved with their teams and engage those members who are not participating. The 2 factors that influence the effectiveness of a team most directly stem from its internal structure and processes are structural factors and team processes. Structural factors, which include team or group type, size, composition of skills and abilities, while the team processes include stage of team development, cultural norms, roles, cohesiveness, and interpersonal processes. In order to judge the effectiveness of their teams, the leaders need to examine their performance outcome and personnel outcomes. Performance outcomes may be measured by performance need and customer satisfaction levels, while the personnel outcomes may be measured by employee satisfaction, commitment, and willingness of members to stay on the team.
Okay, so it's me again. Alright, okay. Next is task work processes. Task work processes are important because it leads to more effective teamwork. There are 3 things in task work processes. First, creative behavior. To get creative idea, we can use brainstorming and nominal group techniques. Second is decision making. When decision making process, members need to help the leader to make the best decision. Then the leader will consider their recommendation. The third is boundary spinning, which means they work together regardless of their position to make an effective teamwork in an organization.
Okay, lastly is adverse group behavior, which are divided into 4 elements. First, social loafing. Social loafing can be described as the tendency of an individual to put less effort when they are part of a group. As small members of the group are pulling their effort to achieve a common goal, each member of the group contribute less than what they would need to if they were individually responsible. For instance, the lecturer has assigned you to work on the class project with a group. If you are working on your own, you will have broken down the assignment. So, since you are part of the group, you need to work and complete the assignments with your group members. Second is diffusion of responsibility. Diffusion of responsibility is a psychological phenomenon in which people are less likely to take an action or feel a sense of responsibility in the presence of a large group of people. For example, in the middle of a large city on a busy street, a young woman suddenly has fallen to the ground. Many people noticed it, but no one called the ambulance because they thought that someone else had called the ambulance. Therefore, they did not feel they responsible to call the ambulance and for help. Third is escalation of commitment. Escalation of commitment occurs when people invest resources into a course of action that is failing. For instance, they might choose to spend legitimate money even if this decision compromises their education, progresses, or enjoyment. Lastly is group think. Group think occurring within a group of people in which the desire for harmony or conformity results in an incorrect or a deviant decision-making outcome.
So that's all from our group. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.